It is 2022 in the world of the NBA, and we now live in an era of super teams. But before super teams were being created, there were normal teams, created from the ground up through draft picks, free agency, and before players asked or forced their way out, were being traded logically. One of the greatest teams in NBA history to never win the NBA title would probably be the 2001-2002 Sacramento Kings. Coached by Rick Adelman, they were led by five-time NBA All-Star Chris Webber, who will eventually become a Hall of Famer. His co-stars would include veteran Vlade Divac, who would anchor the defense. Doug Christie would also be the main defender, tasked to guard the opposing team's top players like Kobe Bryant. They would also have the sharpshooter and Peja Stojakovic, who was deadly from three-point range and coming into his own as a scorer, averaging 21 points a game. The point guard to complete the team was Mike Bibby, who the Kings would trade for in exchange for Jason Williams. While Williams was a fan favorite, his game was different from Bibby's, and he was the missing piece that they would need to get over the hump. This team would end up mowing down the Western Conference, earning the top seed by winning 61 games. They eventually faced their rivals, the Los Angeles Lakers, in a classic Western Conference Finals showdown. While the Lakers ended up winning the series, there were many controversial calls in Game 6 of that series that still have people talking about it today. So for today's video, I will take on the task of controlling that Sacramento Kings team under the game of NBA 2K20, as that game provides the correct cyberfaces and mods I need in order to make this work. Now join me as we travel back in time to 2001 and rewrite NBA history. Alright, so let's run down this 2001-2002 season roster that I found online. The Sixers were led by Iverson and Mutombo, who were just coming off the finals loss the previous year against the Lakers. So yeah, they were the top dogs for the Eastern Conference during this time. The Milwaukee Bucks were led by Ray Allen, Sam Cassell, Glenn Robinson, Mason, and Michael Redd. It's a pretty solid team, but I have no clue why they did not do good during the real season. The Bulls were rebuilding because this is the post-Jordan era. One thing of note is I have no clue why Marcus Fizer looks like Steve Urkel. Cavaliers, this is before LeBron arrived to the league, so yeah, this team sucked. Celtics were led by Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker, so this team was coming up. I remember this team very well. Clippers were bad during this time. They were led by Brand and Odom and Corey Maggette. Jeff McGinnis looks like Colin Sexton though, what the hell. The Grizzlies were still younger this time. They got a young Paul Gasol, Jason Williams, Michael Dickerson. What the hell is that? Andrew Wiggins? The Hawks were good during this time of the because they were led by Sharif Abdur-Rahim and Jason the Jet Terry, and I forgot Kukoc was playing for this team during that time. Miami Heat were led by Eddie Jones and Alonzo Mourning. Yeah, this team was okay. The Hornets was pretty good during this time, I think. They were led by Jamal Mashburn, PJ Brown, B. Diddy, and David Wesley. You got the Jazz, who were, starting to aging during this time with Karl Malone and John Stockton. And the team that I'll be playing as for this video is the Kings, led by Weber, Peja. I found a right cyberface mods, so to fix some of the faces that they had for the season, so that was pretty neat. The Knicks were led by Spreewell and Allen Houston. Lakers, the main foes of the Kings during this time, with Shaq and Kobe. Excuse me. We got the Orlando Magic with T-Mac and Grant Hill. The Mavericks were starting to come up during this time because they had Dirk and Steve Nash. I also downloaded some cyberfaces for them. The Nets were led by Jason Kidd, who took them to the finals during, that real season, but we'll see how this simulation goes. The Nuggets, I think, were crappy during this time. The Pacers were led by Jalen Rose and aging Reggie Miller. I had to find a right cyberface for him too. We got the Pistons led by Jerry Stackhouse. Vince Carter and the Raptors, yeah, they were coming up during this time. Houston Rockets led by Steve Francis, Eugene Mobley, before Yao Ming arrived to them too. The Spurs are coming up with Duncan and Robinson and a young Tony Parker. I totally forgot he was a rookie during this time. The Suns were led by Marbury, Marion, and Penny Hardaway. They were a decent team. The Sonics, Gary Payton, Rashard Lewis, Ben Baker. I remember this team. And of course the T-Wolves with Kevin Garnett. They were coming up during this time. The Blazers led by Rasheed Wallace, who I had to find the right cyberface for this video. And I totally forgot Scottie Pippen was playing for this team during that time. And Sean Kemp. Oh man. Alright, we got the Warriors, who were awful during this time, and then Jordan with the Wizards. I totally forgot this is the first year Jordan's come back. So yeah, this is going to be the rosters I'm going to be using, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so while doing this simulation, I would just simulate a lot of the games to progress through the season, and I will only play the games, or simulate most of it, against the team that were good during that time of the season, you know? Like the strong teams, not the crappy teams. An example would be against the Spurs, you know, because they were really coming up during that decade. And another example would be against the Lakers and the Sixers, which is what you're seeing in this little sample video right now. Yeah, so injuries, there's always got to be injuries for, you know, to hit a team. Hito Turkoglu was lost for like 2 months with the torn meniscus while doing this simulation. And that sucked because he was a key bench player for this team during that time. And then I lost Scott Pollard for like a month or two with a broken nose, and he was a key bench player for the Kings too, so that also sucked. So yeah, that freed up minutes for Lawrence Funderburk, who I remember was another bench player on the team. Gerald Wallace was a rookie during this time, so he didn't really get much playing time. So basically the starters and Bobby Jackson was getting a lot of minutes for the simulation, which is kind of accurate too during that 2001-2002 season. We get to the All-Star break. It's time to get the teams, and this part is not accurate though. We got Team Kobe Bryant versus Team Allen Iverson, and this is a look at the All-Star teams, which, like I said, did not happen back in 2001-2002 because I'm using 2K19, 2K20 season format. So yeah, we got Kobe with Vince Carter, Grant Hill, Carmelo, Shaq as the starters, and we got a Peja Stojakovic on Team Kobe. So he's a 3-time All-Star, looks like, and it looks like Doug Christie is on Team Allen Iverson as one of the reserves. Allen Iverson's team is with AI, Stephon Marbury, Jordan, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, and Chris Webber as a starting center. Wow, that's something that you don't even think, you know, what happened during 2001-2002. Okay, so the 3-point shooting contest for the simulation was led by Peja Stojakovic, and I didn't participate in this at all. I just let the CPU do its thing. We got Allen Houston here shooting, and he was a pretty good shooter back then. This contest also had like participants like David Wesley and Coutinho Mobley right there, and it was Allen Houston who won the 3-point shooting contest, and as it wasn't Peja who won in real life during that season. Slam dunk contest was with Steve Francis who won this one, but in real life during that season I think it was Jason Richardson who won. So yeah, just a little quick review of this All-Star game. It was Team Allen Iverson that beat Team Kobe Bryant, as Shaq led Team Kobe with 18 points, and Team Iverson was led by Iverson himself with 27 points. It doesn't show who won MVP, but I'm pretty sure Iverson won for the simulation. Back to the season simulation, I declined every trade that the CPU kept offering me, as I feel like this roster needs to stay intact, you know, with all the main players. That way it would stay accurate to what really happened in 2001-2002, and I would only play or jump into the games that I feel like that needs to be played or seen, like what you're seeing on this video right here as an example. We continue to run the simulation, and the Kings will continue to rack up wins. There's a ton of blowouts, as you will see here. Mini blowouts, like yeah, like 20-30 point blowouts. And then we get to April, where the season gets close to her end. Picked up some wins against the Lakers. 2 wins against the Lakers to take the #1 seed. Alright, so we got to the playoffs now. The Kings are the #1 seed. They're going to face off against the 8th seed, the Warriors, which, wow, I'm pretty shocked. The Warriors didn't make the playoffs during this decade until the We Believe team, I believe. Wow, that's funny. Alright, so the Lakers are the #2 seed. They'll face off as T-Wolves. The 3 seed is the Spurs, the Blazers. The 4th seed is the Rockets and the Denver Nuggets, which is not accurate because the Nuggets weren't really good that time. Over in the East is very different from what happened in 2001-2002. The 1 seed is the Milwaukee Bucks, and the New Jersey Nets are nowhere in sight here. The 8th seed is the Hornets. The 4th seed is the Heat and the Pacers. I've seen these 2 teams play in the playoffs so many times throughout the years. The 3 seed is the Hawks and the Knicks. Wow, that sounds familiar. And the 2 seed is the Raptors and this Orlando Magic, which is fine because that's the McGrady and Grant Hill team. Excuse me. Alright, so the playoffs are set. We're gonna see how the simulation goes. Alright, so the Warriors ended up beating the Kings in Game 2 of the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Let's see how Game 3 goes. Okay, so one thing interesting of note is the Houston Rockets swept the Denver Nuggets in here. 4th seed defeats the 5th seed. They advance to the 2nd round. Lakers and Minnesota Timberwolves are in a 2-2 series tied, as well as the Spurs and the Blazers, while the Kings have taken a 3-1 lead against the Warriors. Alright, so the Kings beat the Warriors in 5 games in here. They whooped them in Game 5. Round 2 next for the Kings. We'll see who they face off in this simulation. So, simulation of the first 2 games with this Kings and Rockets series. The Kings take a 2-0 lead as they, take advantage of home court, defend home court. That's the correct term. We got the Lakers have a 2-0 lead against the Spurs, and I guess Toronto is up 2-0 on the Knicks. I don't know why the Heat and Bucks game isn't simulated for Game 2 yet. Okay, after 3 games in, the Kings take a commanding 3-0 lead over the Rockets. The Lakers take a commanding 3-0 series lead over the Spurs. Same for the Raptors and the Knicks, and oh man, the Bucks are down 2-0 to the Heat in this series. That's not good. God damn it, they tied it up. Alright, Kings in by the ball. Baby has it. Weber's calling for it. He's really calling for it. But he passes to Peja. Peja gets a wide open layup for the 2-point lead. Alright. See what the Rocks can do here. No timeouts. They're not calling a timeout. Alright, Mobley gets the ball. He dribbles it up. He gets stopped by Bobby Jackson. And what? He just shoots the 3. Oh, okay. No good. Kings got the win, guys. Moving on to the next round. Alright, so the Western Conference Finals was set after the Kings swept the Houston Rockets easily right there. As you see, a little sample video. Yeah, so I guess we got the matchup that we wanted for this video. It's just the Eastern Conference that I'm not sure about because I don't know what's gonna happen with these two series right here. Another thing of note is that with this is the final year of the Rockets before they had Yao Ming, so this means that they won't get Yao Ming if I was to continue with franchise mode after this. Alright, looks like the Kings got the Game 1 win over the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals here. Okay, so Game 2 here. The Lakers tied up the series, and damn, that sucks. Let's see how the Kings do in Game 3. Alright, so we got Game 3 footage here with the Kings getting the win. It was a comfortable win since they got the bench players out here. They now lead the series 2-1. Okay, so Game 4 footage here. We got Kobe shooting free throws, getting the MVP chance. That's how good Kobe was back then. Yeah, so I guess the Lakers are gonna tie up this series 2 games apiece, with the series shifting back to Sacramento. We'll see if the Kings could get the Game 5 win. I mean. Okay, so the Kings get the much needed Game 5 win to take control of home court advantage again. And now the series will shift back to LA to see if they can get the job done. It's not going to be easy. Okay, so Game 6 goes in the favor of the Lakers, but no ref screwing the Kings this time. The Lakers just came out on fire and the Kings just couldn't keep up. So now we got the series tied 3 games to piece, and now it goes back to LA for the final Game 7. Game 7 in Sacramento to see who wins the Western Conference, and it goes to the Kings, who finally took care of business. They dethroned the world champs, the Lakers, and it was a great performance from the Kings. And this is what could have happened back in 2002. And now we see highlights of Game 7. And now the Kings will face the Milwaukee Bucks for the NBA Finals. Now in the real 2002 NBA Finals, it was the Lakers and Nets. And the Nets weren't even in the playoffs in this simulation, it was the Bucks. So yeah, this is a fresh matchup. Okay, this is Game 1, and the Kings got the home court and they beat the Bucks by 15 to take the 1-0 series lead. Okay, so this is Game 2 footage here with the Kings losing to the Bucks by 12 points. Sam Cassell continues to be a beast as his roster update matches his play style. So yeah, the series is now tied at 1 game apiece, with the series shifting to Milwaukee. Okay, we got Game 3 footage here as Sam Cassell hoists up a shot, he misses. Doug Christie gets the rebound and dribbles the ball up court. Kings get the win as they win Game 3 by 9 points to take a 2-1 series lead. Teams usually win the finals when they're up 2-1, so we'll see what happens. Alright, so we got Game 4 footage here, and it looks like the Bucks tied up the series. They beat the Kings by 10 points to even up the series 2 games apiece. And now the series is going to go back to Sacramento for Game 5. All important Game 5 is in Sacramento, with Ray Allen missing a shot. Peja grabs a rebound, he dribbles the ball up court, And the Kings win. They beat the Bucks by 8 points for the Game 5 win. And now they're up 3 games to 2. Can they win one more to win the title? We'll see. Let's check out some Game 6 highlights here. The Bucks are just on fire in this game. They started off the game hot. They're just whooping on the Kings. Nice shot. The Kings made a late rally in the fourth to cut the lead down to single digits, but it wasn't enough as the Bucks were able to make some free throws and were able to escape with a 4-point win to even up the series at 3 games. Game 7 is now back in Sacramento, guys. Oh man. Alright, now we got highlights of Game 7 of the 2002 NBA Finals featuring the Kings and the Bucks. Game 7 is in Sacramento since they got the home court. Alright, so Game 7 here, and it looks like Sam Cassell misses a shot. Chris Webber grabs the rebound. He dribbles the ball up court, gives it to Bibby. And the Kings, they're about to win. They won. Alright, they won the NBA title, the 2002 NBA World Champs. They beat the Bucks in 7 games. This is amazing. If only it happened in real life. But I was able to make it happen here for you guys to watch. This is truly one of the best teams ever in NBA history to never win a title. Yeah, we see Lonnie Divac holding the Larry Ryan Trophy. C-Web grabbing the MVP. He's the MVP of the finals, of course. Great visual, yeah. I mean, if only this had happened back then, you know. But they got cheated out by the refs. And the Lakers squad that year was pretty good too, though. Gotta give them credit. So yeah, I would like to thank you guys for watching this video. I've been working on this video for a long time, since last year, 2021. And then I just get sidetracked with my own stuff, you know, and my own life, work. So I had to work on it on my own time whenever I felt like it. And then now that I finally had time, yeah, glad it finishes. I can move on with other projects that I've been trying to work on. Thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, okay? Once again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.